There is a lot going on out here in these YouTube streets. So I just wanted to come and talk about these two stories. They are separate stories, but they are similar. So we're going to talk about it. Thank you so much, LaCondace, for being my very first super chat sender of the evening. Now, these stories, both of these are very important stories. And I hope I don't offend either family by putting them together, okay? Because they are separate in themselves. However, I want to talk about both of them, but we are talking about two young Black children, because they are, even though he's 18, Nolan, is he 18 or 19? Let me see how old Nolan is. In my eyes, he is still a child. He's either 18 or 19, but he is still a child, okay? And then we have 7-year-old Jor'Dynn Duncan. Of course, she is a child. So we have two Black young adults killed, murdered, missing, okay? I ain't gonna say missing because they both dead. Deceased, let's just say deceased, in the company of white people. Yeah. They are deceased while being in the company of white people. So we're going to talk about it, okay? So still, I hope that this does not offend any family. Prayers out to Jor'Dynn Duncan family and also to Nolan Wells family, all right? We're going to get into it. Now, for a long time, y'all already know I didn't do stories on children, but, you know, we kind of changed that a little bit. And so we will be covering stories on kids as well. I need you guys to do me a favor. I need you guys to thumb up this video, please, and thank you. And I need 5 of y'all to share this video to your Facebook and then let me know that you have shared it down below. 5 people, share this video and tell me down below, shared, and shared. 5 shares, please and thank you. Let's get into these stories. On this thumbnail, we see 2 young Black kids, along with, we see 3 white boys with Nolan, okay? And we also see 3 white, well, it looks like 2 white women, and it looks like the 24-year-old girl may be mixed with something. I'm gonna say she's mixed only because one of the girls, the main one, Emily, is the fiance of Jor'Dynn, and Jor'Dynn's father is Black, okay? So I'm assuming the last girl is mixed, right? She said, stop allowing your children to be tokens, to be the token Black. That is not a plus, that is a minus. Oh, okay. I hear you, Newsworthy. But let's get into these stories. Now, I'm going to give y'all an option. Which story y'all want to hear first? Do you want to hear about 7-year-old Jor'Dynn, or do you want to hear about 18-year-old Nolan? He's either 18 or 19. I will confirm in a few minutes. He's 18. Okay. Or was. I'm sorry. Okay, Nolan. Let's talk about Nolan first. So 18-year-old Nolan is who we are going to be discussing first. All right. Now, this story happened on the 4th of July, which is not that long ago because it's only the 8th now, okay? So what happened was Nolan went on a trip in Mississippi to Horn Island. Now, I've never heard of Horn Island before until this story, all right? So he went on a trip. First of all, let me tell you who he is. Nolan is an 18-year-old. He played football at Southern Mississippi Community College, all right? His position was a wide receiver. Well, you know, when you play football, you have friends, okay? And he went on a vacation with his friends. His mother allowed him, his parents allowed him to go on a vacation with 3 other friends to Horn Island. So they did that, right? So, and it was a boat trip, okay? They went on a boat trip. And so authorities says that that was the last time this young man was seen. His 3 friends returned, but he did not, okay? So his mother reported him missing that night because his friends didn't tell the mother that he was gone. So now on July the 6th, which is only 2 days later, a body was found in the water near the northwest end of Horn Island. Authorities later identified him through dental records, according to reports. So they identified the body as being Nolan Wells. Nolan Xavier Wells. Now, the sheriff came back and said they do not currently have evidence proving a crime happened and that drowning has been discussed as a suspect possibility, meaning that they think that he died from drowning because they found him in the water. It had washed up, right? But the full medical examiner report is still pending, which means they have not found his reason for death. Now, what people are questioning, the biggest question people have right now is how did Nolan go to the island with a group of friends and was left behind? Because that's what his friends are saying. His friends are saying that he chose to stay back when they left and said that he would catch a ride with someone else, okay? That's what they're saying. Now, it says one explanation is being looked at, but it was not fully answered, the family question. And the family question is, why did the friends leave without him? All right. Now, not only did the friends leave without him, we're going to talk about this phone situation in a minute. First of all, let's go back to the why did they leave without him? Now, they said it was his choice that he wanted to stay back and ride with someone else. And people are saying, okay, well, y'all went out there together. Why would you allow him to ride back with someone else? Did you check on him by phone to make sure he was good, or whether he even made it back safely? Okay. And that answer is, well, we don't know because they have all lawyered up. They are not talking. All right. The boys are not saying anything. Okay. So again, they're saying to their parents or to, I'm going to say their parents or whoever they're speaking with, that Nolan made the decision to stay back and ride home with someone else. Now, we have this rule. We have a rule. If we go together, we leaving together. I don't like that. Oh, no, I'm going to catch a ride with somebody else. Or, oh, no, I'm going to stay back and chill for a minute. No, because I'm going to stay back with you. That's just how I operate. I don't like that. I get kind of a little leery with it. And if you are very insistent in doing it, or persistent, should I say, then I might let you stay back. But I'm going to try to pressure you, right? I'm going to say, nope, you're not going by yourself. But if you keep on saying, more, no, I'm going. I'm still going to have reservations, but if I keep pressuring you and you still, say, no, this is what I want to do, then I may let you stay back. But normally we have a rule. If we go together, we leave together. I had a situation like this that happened long time ago. Anyway, I don't want to get into it on this story, but nevertheless, I did not like how it happened. So my bottom line is, if we go together, if we get there together, we're going to leave together. Okay. Nevertheless, he said he's going to ride back with somebody else. The three friends left him there. All right. Now, let's continue with what is going on, because there's a lot of talk on social media about it. However, there are people saying that they feel that there was foul play and that the boys had something to do with it. The boys has lawyered up. And I'm also hearing that they turned off their social media, and the parents right now are not talking either. Okay. Now let's talk about the phone situation, because there is rumors that the boys had his phone. However, it says from the reportings, Nolan was believed to be without his phone, which made it harder to track him. People magazines reported that his mother said out her own mouth that his father had his phone, which caused confusion about any phone location signal. So let me read the exact article where it says that his father has his phone, okay? Now, I'm going to read the whole thing, and I'm going to put it up here for you guys so you can read along with me. Now, this is from People magazine. This is where it says that they spoke about his phone. Right here, let's go from the top. Body found during search for teen who vanished after traveling to remote island with friends on the 4th of July. A body was found in search of a Mississippi football player who vanished after heading to a remote island during the July the 4th holiday. Xavier Wells, 18 years old, was last seen. I hate when they do that shit. Ask me, am I human? What do you think? Okay. was last seen on July the 4th wearing blue swim trunks, no shirt, and sunglasses, according to the Jackson County Sheriff's Office. As the search for Wells, who graduated from Ocean Spring High School and went on to play football at Southern Mississippi Community College, continued, a body was found 2 days later on the west end of the island on Monday. The body was found by a park ranger at 8:45 in the morning. The Jackson County Coroner Office has yet to formally identifying the body. Now, it says, though the circumstances behind his disappearance remain unclear, mom named Christine Wansley said Wells, who also goes by, I said Nolan, but it's No. Oh, wait a minute. What's his name? Anyway, No, had been separated from his phone, so location tracking isn't an option, according to Mississippi Clarendon Legend. His father and I have his cell phone. So far, friends who are seeing his location is because we have it, she said. So do y'all see that here? Though the circumstances behind his disappearance remain unclear, mom Christine Wansley said Wells, who also goes by No, had been separated from his phone. So location tracking isn't an option. His father and I have his cell phone. So for friends who are seeing his location, it's because we have it, which I think is weird. Why would you allow your son to go on a trip without his phone? Who does that? Who allows at 18 years old, why wouldn't you want him to have a phone? So it goes on to say the United Cajun Navy Incident Commander Josh Gills said in a video posted on social media on Sunday that Wells was last talking to a girl on that north end and then went to Horn Island on a boat with some friends. Out of respect for Nolan's family and the integrity of the investigation, we will not comment on search developments or release information before the appropriate law enforcement agency provide an official update, the group added. So they're trying to make it sound like he was speaking with a girl before he went on the trip with his friends, and it said he was speaking with the girl on the north end of Horn Island. So the fact that he allegedly requests to catch a ride home, they may be trying to say he went back to see that girl, okay? Now, it said it in a video on social media. Let's go to it right quick. Hold on.
2026, really important. I know you guys are going to be out on the boat today. Enjoy your day. If you're going out towards Horn Island, I need you to keep your eyes out for 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Black young man, about 6'1", 180 pounds, was last seen on that north end of Horn Island. Guys, he hasn't been found. Okay, he was last talking to a girl on that north end. He went out to Horn Island with some buddies yesterday out on a boat. He's not been heard from in close to 24 hours. So guys, if you're out there fishing, if you're out there, jet skiing, doing whatever you guys are doing, keep your eyes out for Nolan. Family's going to be out there in the boat searching. We're going to try and get some air assets up there. We know there's surface assets around. Coast Guard's been notified. Local police have been notified. Guys, please keep your eyes out. Look at the poster. Look at the pictures. Let's see what we can do. Let's find this young boy. His mother's worried sick. Let's do what we do, guys. Love each and every one of you. Be safe. I hope you all still have 10 fingers and toes. Let's do work. You guys can.
Okay. So did y'all hear that? Or do I need to run that back? Thumbs up if you heard that, or do I need to run that back? Okay, thumbs up. Now, it says he was talking to the girl. Now, I don't know if this is something that they reported. I'm going to run it back anyway. And the reason why I'm going to run it back is because it sounds like he is just saying what was reported to him. Okay, hold on. Let me go back up. Let me run it back because, again, it sounds like he's repeating what was reported to him, which is that Nolan was talking to a young lady on the north end. Now, that's where his body washed up at. And now it's kind of being reported that he stayed back to be with a girl or to talk to a girl. So let's listen again.
Hey guys, good morning. Josh Gill, 5 July 2026. Really important. I know you guys are going to be out on the boat today. Enjoy your day. If you're going out towards Horn Island, I need you to keep your eyes out for 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Black young man, about 6'1", 180 pounds, was last seen on that north end of Horn Island. Guys, he hasn't been found. Okay, he was last talking to a girl on that north end. He went out to Horn Island with some buddies yesterday out on a boat. He's not been heard from in close to 24 hours. So guys, if you're out there fishing, if you're out there, jet skiing, doing whatever you guys are doing, keep your eyes out for Nolan. Family's going to be out there in the boat searching. We're going to try and get some air assets up there. We know there's surface assets around. Coast Guard's been notified. Local police have been notified. Guys, please keep your eyes out. Look at the poster. Look at the pictures. Let's see what we can do. Let's find this young boy. His mother's worried sick. Let's do what we do, guys. Love each and every one of you. Be safe. I hope you also have 10 fingers and toes. Let's do work.
Okay. So right here, he's a part of the Cajun Navy, it seems. And he is saying that it has been said that Nolan was speaking with a young lady on the north end of Horn Island. Now, that is also where they're saying his body washed up at, okay? The north end of Horn Island is where they found his body. Well, right now, they're not confirming it's him, but they are confirming it's him, okay? However, they're saying that his body was found on North Island. However, there's rumors that he was involved in an argument. So I want to talk about that for a minute because there was an argument and there is a viral video that's going around. It says there's a viral video allegedly showing an argument or a confrontation on Horn Island that day, July the 4th. Police are reportedly reviewing that video right now, but there has not been confirmed public proof that the video shows Nolan is directly connected to this video or directly connected to the death. So we're going to watch the video. I want you guys to see it. Again, the video doesn't seem to show exactly who is arguing. You can hear somebody arguing, but you can't directly see who it is or if it's even connected to the death. All right, let's take a listen. Turn your volumes up. You're not really going to hear anything. Just toward the end of the video, you're going to hear some screaming, saying something like, you mother, something like that. Let's just listen. Oh, come on. Okay, so I don't even know if you heard it, but it said something at the end, I'm gonna fuck you up, okay? So I could drop that video. I'll just drop this whole link. If you wanna just dissect that video by yourself, you can. But it sounds like they trying to say it was Nolan and one of his friends arguing, and it sounds like toward the end, he says, I'm gonna F you up. But let's read the top of it. It says, new detail emerges in the Nolan Xavier Wells case. A confirmed altercation, meaning that an altercation did happen, they just don't know who it was. But it says a confirmed altercation reportedly took place on Horn Island around 4:01 p.m. on July the 4th, 2026, during the time frame of Nolan Xavier Wells' disappearance. Authorities have not identified who was involved, and the investigation remains ongoing. Okay, this is on Twitter. So again, there was a confirmed altercation out that day. Okay, meaning that a lot of people said, yep, there was an argument, but they don't know who it involves, and they don't know if this is connected to his death, okay? So let's continue. All right, so that happened. That was an altercation, which, kind of says a lot. Now it says race and public suspicion. Photos circulating online reportedly shows Nolan, who was a black kid, okay, with 3 white companions And that has caused some people to question whether race played any role in his disappearance. But as of the latest reporting, authorities have not announced evidence of a racial motive or even a crime. Again, those three young fellas you see in the picture, every last one of them have lawyered up. They all have lawyers. Their lawyers have told them to shut up and don't say a word, and they ain't talking, okay? Now, it says the family and public want transparency, but the circumstances do not feel clear as of yet. Now, Ben Crump is involved. Nolan family has hired civil rights attorney Ben Crump. That does not automatically mean a crime happened, but it does mean the family wants pressure, transparency, and independent review of the situation, and answers about the timeline, the witnesses, the videos, and investigation. So she hired Ben Crump and his office to take a further look into this, okay? What investigators are saying right now, they are asking people who were on Horn Island that day to send firsthand information, including any photos, videos, and recordings that they have of that particular day. They have also said social media rumors are making it harder to verify what's facts and what's fiction, okay? Because there's a lot of things that's going around. Now, we ain't trying to jump to conclusion, but I want to ask y'all this, okay? She said this is his mama 7 hours ago. Okay, so the mother 7 hours ago have made a statement. Let's put it up. Give me a second. The mother, let me do it another way. Let me just read it. The mother's statement from 7 hours ago says, once again, here, I just put it up because I don't even know who these people are. Hold on. It says, once again, Elmore Wansley and I have not approved anyone to speak or post on our behalf regarding our son, Nolan Wells, other than attorney Ben Crump and his legal team. Please report any video at says we allow this type of behavior, action, justice for Nolan, forever 18. So I don't know why she says that, but let me just read what else that you sent me. All right, hold on. Some more stuff that was sent to me. Hold on a second. Jay is saying something to me. Thank you. All right, thank you for the super chats. Okay, it says, no, the phone was left on the boat and the boys brought the phone to them. Is that what it says? Hold on. It says Nolan and others can be heard on the bank arguing. Yeah, I just showed that. All right, so this video might be better because it looks like it's showing a photo. I mean, an arrow or where they at. Let me see if I can stop it. Okay, so right here, let's go back a little bit where they saying they are. Okay, so this is where Nolan and the guys supposed to be arguing. I wonder, could I slow this down some? Playback speed, let's slow it all the way down to this. All right, let's see if we can play it now. Let's go back. They zoom by that too fast. Okay, it sounds horrible slowed down. The part where they say, excuse me, The part where he says, I'm going to fuck you up, it sounds like they passed them, though. Hold on. It sounds like it's coming from somewhere over here. But I don't know where it's coming from. But this is where they're saying that they were standing. I'm assuming. I don't know how they know that, but they're saying that this is them right there. Hold on. Wait a minute. Go back again. So them in that area that's what they're saying. So there's quite a few people. It looks like at least 10 or 15, about 10 or 11 or 12 people over there. So they should know something, right? So let me take this down. And let me look and see what else. It says one of my passengers is pretty certain he was a part of that group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m. Burram with the blue top that I posted left shortly after that and pretty fast. So I don't see nobody with the blue top. But it says we were parked right next to them and something was in sight when we left at 7:30. Let's see what they talking about. Let's zoom in. We were parked right next to them and something were in sight when we left at 7:30. It says, let me let y'all see what I see. Let me let y'all see what I see so we could discuss this together. Okay. This one says, one of my passengers is pretty certain he was part of that group that was almost fighting around 5 p.m. Bertram with the blue top that I posted left shortly after that and pretty fast. Then this one says, we were parked right next to them and he was where something in sight where we left at 7:30. So I don't know if they're saying that he's one of these guys. He said, Kathleen, was this the group that were throwing beer cans in the water, driving crazy? Was he for sure with them? Something introduced himself to my husband. He was very respectful. Something kids just were rowdy. I didn't something them swimming to the yacht. I wish have been more attentive, but I do know that he was on that boat with them. And this one says he was parked next to them and he was nowhere in sight when we left at 7:30. Oh, it says we were parked right next to them and he was nowhere in sight when we left at 7:30. Oh. So people are talking, you guys. People are talking. Oh, thank you so much, Barbara Clark, for that love. Thank you so much. I appreciate you. It says some say he met a girl. Some say he was in a fight. I don't know exactly. We're hearing it was a girl. We're hearing it was a fight. We're hearing from here that he possibly wasn't even there around 7:30 when the other guys were spotted right next to another boat, okay? That he wasn't even with them. So, I mean, there's different things being said, all right? Now, here's something else that's being said. Let's put this up right quick. Let's take this down and put this up. This story is still developing, so I'm sure a lot is going to come out. But y'all know I just don't like chasing down the rumors, okay? But we'll listen to them, but, we got to have, kind of validation of them. Now, this right here comes from someone named Katie Hudson, and it says, he repeatedly asked Nolan to get one boat at 5 when it was time to leave, but Nolan wanted to stay with a girl, and their boat was parked next to his. He was insistent about staying with this girl. Wyatt asked him several times to please get on the boat, and people heard him. My son loves him and would never in 1,000,000 years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat. Nolan has been at our house several times, and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked him to get on, he said he wanted to stay, and Wyatt's boat started to fill with water. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. I don't know this girl that he wanted to stay with. I can just tell you, though, my son had nothing to do with it in any way, shape, or form. A matter of fact, he was the first person that noticed he was missing when they got back to their friend's house and called his mother, the Coast Guard, and the sheriff's office. Warren is very responsible and always is keeping up with everyone. So this is a mother, and she's saying her son ain't got shit to do with it. Apparently, he stayed back with a girl, is what they're saying. And that very well may be true. And if he stayed back with a girl and they was out there on Horn Island, I'm not saying that happened. I'm just saying if it happened, if that's the case, then the girl, whoever, it could have been like the girl's, boyfriend, dad, somebody could have, beat him up. And I just, at this point, I honestly don't think that this will be solved. Not if they saying he was with a girl. Because now you're going to say, okay, if he was with a girl, then possibly her dad, her brother, her boyfriend, someone that liked her, probably did something to him, or it could have been his friends, one of the guys that was on this boat. We really can't know what happened unless somebody saw it and haven't come forth yet. Unless there's video footage or someone heard something, then this may go unsolved. If he wanted to stay on the boat, we don't know. He could have fell off. Anything could have happened. I'm going to tell y'all something. Y'all won't see me on no boat riding like this with not no vest on, because you can easily get knocked off that boat. And if you can't swim, and I'm not saying he can't swim, but if you can't swim and if you get knocked off that boat, you a goner. You're a goner. So I would have definitely had a life vest on if I did not know how to swim. Hell, if I did know how to swim, I'm still having a life vest on, because you just never know. If you get knocked off that boat and a wave or something come by and you cannot fight against, the tide or something like that, you could literally end your life. Like, wasn't it an actor? Jamal, I think Jamal, that played in the Cosby. He lost his life and he was a swimmer, but the tide said, they got the best of him, right? So I don't care. I'm always wearing a vest. But this is one of the kids' mom that said that her son, Wyatt, has absolutely nothing to do with it, okay? So, of course, people want to, oh, wait a minute. Oh. She said, this is the girl Nolan was with. Who is the girl? What's the girl name that Nolan was with? Who's the girl Nolan was with? Write her name down. I don't have that one. You said this is the girl Nolan was with, but you never sent me the photo. Okay, thank you for these receipts. Oh, her name is Katie. Oh, Katie Hudson is the one that Nolan was with? Hold on, let me look her ass up right quick. Let's look up Katie. Let's look up Katie. Well, it can't be Katie, because Katie wrote the post. And she said, no, this is one of the guy's mom. This can't be Katie. Yeah, Katie Hudson Seymour is one of the guy's mom. Or Katie Hudson, whatever the hell her name is. Hold on. Oh, it looks like she went and hid her page too. So she's not on there no more. So Katie Hudson Seymour is one of the mothers. And she went and hid her page now that she's put this out. Katie Hudson Seymour. She's not coming up anymore. Nope. It says it's hidden. The page is hidden. Yep. So I can't see Katie Hudson Seymour. It says, we just want to know why you lied, Katie. Warren's mother. Why did you say that Warren contacted the Coast Guard and the sheriff when you knew he did not? And you contradict yourself when you said Nolan told Warren that he was staying on the island, but then later said when they got to the friend's house, Warren noticed that he was missing. Well, if he told Warren he was staying, then why later at his friend's house would he say he's missing? You're such a liar. The cover up is starting to fall apart already, and we will not stop asking questions until Nolan receives justice. He said the Jackson County coroner confirmed the autopsy is being done in Harrison County this morning. This should provide DNA results on the identity, determine a cause of death, and provide other vital information that could help paint the picture for what happened. Lynn could now not confirm how soon that information will be available. I also received an email back from a member of the U.S. Coast Guard Heartland District that confirmed that they were made aware of Nolan's disappearance on the afternoon of July the 5th. The statement reads, at 12:26 p.m., Coast Guard Sector Mobile received a request for assistance from the Jackson County Sheriff's Office in search of a missing person in the vicinity of Horn Island. Sector watchstanders issued an urgent marine information broadcast and diverted a Coast Guard helicopter to search the area. The petty officer confirmed in a follow-up email that was the first time they heard anything about a missing person. Oh, so she lied. It said, here's what we know and what remains unknown. After the first 12 hours of the investigation into Nolan's death, Wells went to Horn Island on a boat with his friends. Wells was last seen around 3 p.m. on July the 4th on the west tip of Horn Island. Wells' mother made the initial call to the JCSD near midnight on July the 4th. Wells was found in the water near the north tip of Horn Island on July the 6th around 8:45 in the morning. The family confirmed on social media of his passing. Autopsy is scheduled for July the 7th. What is now unknown? Who was last seen with Wells? How did Wells end up in the water? Why did Wells not come back with his friends he went with? And why did no one from that island call to report Wells missing? Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter says investigators are interviewing multiple people and following lots of leads. The investigation is still going. So let me read her thing one more time. She said, hold on, let me read what she said again. She says, Wyatt asked him several times to please get on the boat, and people heard him. My son loves him and would never in a million years leave him. Warren does not even have a boat. Nolan has been at our house several times, and he is the sweetest friend. We all adore him. Again, when Wyatt asked for him to get on, he said he wanted to stay, and Wyatt's boat started to fill with water. His boat ended up breaking down and was towed in. I don't know the girl that he wanted to stay with. I can just tell you, though, my son had nothing to do with it in any way, shape, or form. Of matter of fact, he was the first person that noticed that he was missing when they got back to their friend's house and called his mother, the Coast Guard, and the sheriff's office. Warren is a very responsible and always, Okay. So I guess the girl is trying to say he did not call the Coast Guard or sheriff's office on that day because they're saying they didn't hear anything about it until the next day. Okay. So that's that one. Okay, it says if he was last seen with Katie and not long after her brother and sister-in-law came to get her, then my money is on the brother. Okay, so it said that she was last seen with the girl. So it says, so it looks like, okay, let's listen to this, y'all. Let's listen to this. Let's peel back.
So there's been more.
Let's peel back the onion a little bit more, y'all. Let's peel back the onion a little bit more. We may not even get to Jor'Dynn today. I think we're going to try to, hold on. All right, let's listen to what he's saying. They saying that he was last seen with Katie and her brother came to get her. All right, so let's listen.
So there's been more information and details that came out about 18-year-old Nolan Wells, and I want to be able to go over that and to see if we can break that down. First off, it has been confirmed by the mom of 18-year-old Nolan Wells that one of the friends of 18-year-old Nolan Wells that was out there on the island with him did end up reporting 18-year-old Nolan Wells missing. So the mom of Warren, one of the friends of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, ended up putting out a post that I'm going to go over with everybody. And then I'm going to show y'all a video of another sister that put out a video saying that she received some more information. And I'm going to play that info for you guys, and then we'll go over that too. Forgive me, y'all, I said a post when I meant to say a message. So this was supposedly a message from the mom of Warren, the friend of 18-year-old Nolan Wells. It says he repeatedly asked Nolan to get one boat at 5 when it was time to leave, but Nolan wanted to stay with a girl and their boat was parked next to his.
Okay, so we heard that.
Now, before people jump to, hey, I'm not going to believe this, I don't want to believe her, she's lying, she's trying to protect her son, let's go back to the details that we went over yesterday of that post that I said was from Katie's mom. It ended up being from the stepmom and or the sister of Katie, but let's go over that again. Now, remember when I said that Katie must have had heard this, that it wasn't over the phone, that she had to be in the same vicinity as them in order to hear those friends to tell Nolan to get on the boat? Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Let's go back to the mom of Warren. Wyatt asked him several times to get on the boat, and people heard him. So in other words, whoever made that post on behalf of Katie also is confirming right there that they did hear those friends asking Nolan to get on the boat and telling him to get on the boat, and that Nolan was saying that he was going to stay and hang with the girl. Real quick before I play this other video for y'all with other details in it, if allegedly Katie heard those friends letting them know to get on the boat, that would mean that she probably heard Nolan saying that he was going to stay to be able to hang with her. So if she didn't have intentions to hang with Nolan, why wouldn't she interject right there or something like that and tell Nolan, hey, why don't you just get on the boat with the friends? I'm not really planning on hanging. Now I'm going to play the video that somebody sent to me of somebody else saying that they received some more information and details, and then we'll go over that and I'll be right back.
So the first thing that she told me is that there was an argument between Nolan and one of his friends, Wyatt. And him.
Okay, so this is a parent of a mutual friend of the boys on the boat with Nolan Wells. Hit me up today on Facebook Messenger. Okay, so this is a parent of a mutual friend of the boys, okay?
And Wyatt basically said, fuck you too. And then that's when Nolan got off the boat and went to go hang out with Katie, okay? She heard that Nolan went into an area that had really big riptides, and the area that he went swimming in that had the big riptides is an area that where they were partying at, people wouldn't be able to see.
Now, she states that 18-year-old Nolan Wells and also his friend Wyatt exchanged some words with each other. I wouldn't quite call that arguing, just because two friends that's friends say F you and F you too to one another. She then goes on to say that she was told that the person heard that 18-year-old Nolan Wells had ended up going off to go swim in the area of the island where the riptides are known to be at. I have a couple questions about that. Now, let me ask those questions before I go back to speaking about Wyatt and 18-year-old Nolan Wells supposedly exchanging words with one another. If 18-year-old Nolan Wells was seen headed over to go swimming in a high riptide area, why didn't anybody that saw him headed over there to go swimming in that area say something to him and say, hey, no, don't go swimming over there because there's a high riptide area over there? Not only that, But if it said that you couldn't see somebody swimming over there from where they was partying at, how would anybody even know that he was choosing to swim in that area, as you wouldn't have even been able to see him get in that water? And if somebody did see him get into that water, does that then mean that that person would have followed him over there to see him get into that water over there, seeing that you weren't able to see him, or people wouldn't have been able to see him from the area where they was partying at? Then that would mean that somebody had to be close enough to 18-year-old Nolan Wells to be able to see him over there. Who? So no, I don't feel like 18-year-old Nolan Wells decided to go over there and swim it in the high riptide area, especially where nobody could see him and nobody else was at. Now let's go back to where they said that 18-year-old Nolan Wells as well as Wyatt argued with one another and said F you to one another, and that's when 18-year-old Nolan Wells decided to get off the boat. Now it's important for us to think about, did they argue before the friends were said to have asked 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on the boat, and or did they argue after they was asking 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on the boat? I personally feel like it would have been before they was asking 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on the boat, and here's why. The reason why I say that is, let's go back to the mom of Warren said message that was sent back here where it says Wyatt asked him several times, please get on the boat. Now, it said that Wyatt was the one that exchanged the words with 18-year-old Nolan Wells, so therefore that please is very important to me. The please coming from Wyatt sounds like a plea to me, as if they just exchanged words with each other would signify why Wyatt would use the word please to ask 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on the boat. We also know that the argument couldn't have occurred at the same time that they was asking him to get on the boat, and the reason why we know that is because they wouldn't be asking him to get on the boat. It was said when they exchanged that FU and FU2 to each other, Nolan then got off the boat. And that's how we know that both of these situations occurred at two separate times. Now let's go back over to the phone to 18-year-old Nolan Wells, because people are still asking questions of, if the friends realized that they had the phone to 18-year-old Nolan Wells, why didn't they bring it back to him on the island knowing that he didn't have a phone? Well, if it's being said that Wyatt's boat started to fill with water, that would mean right after the boys was asking 18-year-old Nolan Wells to get on a boat and 18-year-old Nolan Wells said that he was going to stay there, that would mean that they had to immediately leave, because it's even said that the boat ended up breaking down and it was towed in. Now, that's even something that should be documented, is when a boat ended up having to be towed in, as they would have had to signal and or call for help, since that boat would have ended up stopping and they would have needed somebody to come and get them. So that would be documented that somebody came and got the boat, which would also mean that if they left inside of that boat and then they realized that the phone...
It says the phone was said to be on the boat Roland rode out on, and Nolan and his friends Javion both left their phones on the boat. Nolan came out on as they met up on the island. They just took two different boats. Once met up, they put their phones on the boat. Nolan came out in together. What?
On the 18-year-old Nolan Wells was still in the car. They couldn't quite risk turning around just to bring the phone to 18-year-old Nolan Wells due to the fact that the boat was having the issues that it was having, and they may not have even realized that they had the phone to 18-year-old Nolan Wells until after the boat was broken down. That also would give those boys even more time to get rid of the phone to 18-year-old Nolan Wells. If they had did something to 18-year-old Nolan Wells, they would have wanted to get rid of that phone, not bring that phone all the way back home. And it goes back to, again, Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him, meaning implying that the friends did, in fact, leave off of the island without 18-year-old Nolan Wells. This is very important. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him, implying that Katie may have even known that the friends did, in fact, leave without 18-year-old Nolan Wells. Again, if Katie heard that, then Katie must have been in the vicinity of 18-year-old Nolan Wells, which means that if those friends parted from 18-year-old Nolan Wells right then and there and left in that boat due to the fact that that boat was filling up with water, then that would mean that Katie would have still been right there, right? That says to me, out of the friends of 18-year-old Nolan Wells and Katie, that Katie was the last person out of them to see 18-year-old Nolan Wells alive. So there's been more information and details that came out about 18-year-old Nolan Wells, and I want to...
Okay, I ain't even gonna lie. He confused the hell out of me, but I want to go back to something right quick. It says Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went and got her. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. So Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. Katie made it home because she was on another boat and with different people. Katie was safe because my brother and sister-in-law went out and got her. Me and my family have talked, called, and are sending up prayers to bring Nolan. Hold on. So it sounds like to bring Nolan home. We have given all, we have given all we can give to his mom and authorities. Oh, so Gracie is saying Katie left Nolan before the boys left, because it says Katie assumed the friends telling him to get on the boat wouldn't have left him. And Katie had a conversation and assumed that Nolan was getting ready to get on the boat he came out in. So it sounds like Katie left him to get on the boat with his friends. She said, I'm confused. Is Katie one of their mothers or the girl he stayed with? Hell, I thought Katie was the damn mama. Katie had a conversation with,
Some more information, and I'm going to play that info for you guys.
I thought Katie was the mother, but Katie, Father, I pray today for those whose eyes have grown weak with sorrow. Oh no, this ain't the person. That's somebody else. Because it's, chai. Here are Nolan friends that don't remember anything.
These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember anything, but they remembered to deactivate every single social media account that they have. Them, his girlfriend, their parents, all the accounts deactivated and wiped clean. All of them. Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, Morgan, jail. Jail for everyone. Because they're already circling the wagons. They're already lawyered up. But wait, their parents are doctors, lawyers, and judges. This is the father of one of his friends. And this is the stepmama, Ashley Cole. Court judge for Jackson, George, and Greene counties in the beautiful state of Mississippi has already deactivated her account. Deactivated all the accounts, and they have all unfollowed Nolan. And this is Katie, who is either a friend, close friend, or girlfriend, who is supposedly, allegedly cooperating with authorities because all the other friends are lawyered up and circling the wagons and not helpful and not talking. The doctors and the lawyers and the judges' parents of these 5 have said that they would like privacy, please, at this time. But you know what? Name them publicly. No privacy and no peace for Eli, also known as Jax, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, and Morgan. What happened to Nolan? What did you do to Nolan? His phone came back safe, but he didn't? Why were y'all arguing just minutes before he was reported missing? And y'all were continuing to party late into the evening. Other boats that were docked and parked next to yours saw y'all. But Nolan was missing. We're gonna find out. The truth shall come to light. These are Nolan Wells' friends that didn't remember.
That's suspect, y'all. That is suspect. If you ain't guilty of nothing, what you deactivating your accounts? You mean all of them done deactivated their accounts, every last one of them? If that doesn't scream suspect, I don't know what does, because come on. Why in the world would you deactivate your account? Every last one of them. And their parents deactivated. They all done lawyered up. And the only one left out there that hasn't deactivated her account, hasn't lawyered up, is Katie. The girl that in the other video that I just showed y'all says that, excuse me, she assumed that his friends wouldn't leave him. So Katie, the girl that he was with, thought that he left with these guys. So the girl is saying, he didn't stay back with me. He left with them. Y'all, I'm beginning to think when they said the water was filling up, the boat was filling up with water and they had to be towed back. I believe if the boat was filling up with water, they probably told everybody to jump out so that it wouldn't sink quicker. And they probably all jumped out and he couldn't swim. Now, I don't know if he can swim or not. Ain't no way I'd be on that damn boat if I couldn't swim. But maybe he couldn't swim as good. I don't know. But if the boat is filling up and if you stay on it with all that weight, it'll go under quicker. So they probably said, hey, if the boat's filling up, let's jump out, and let's wait for someone to tow us in. I don't know. I'm just thinking. But this is crazy, y'all. Every last one of them have deactivated their accounts, right? And are saying, we need privacy. They're writing statements saying we need privacy at this time. Let's get to the part where it says we need privacy. It says, please start naming them publicly. No privacy, no peace. They have literally shut down Eli, Eric, Wyatt, Warren, and Morgan have all shut down their accounts. All closed down their accounts. That's suspect to me. Not saying that they did anything because we don't know. But it sounds a little suspect to me. All right, we're going to keep digging.
Every single social media account.
We're going to keep digging. This is crazy, y'all. This is crazy. And the only person right now is Katie that still have her account open and has not lawyered up. Katie McCormick, the individual Nolan recently encountered, is cooperating while male associates Wyatt Pyron, and Warren Hudson obtained legal representation. That outcome wasn't surprising to me. So she is cooperating. She is cooperating. Why did no one from the island call to report Wells missing? Jackson County Sheriff John Ledbetter says investigators are interviewing multiple people and following lots of leads. The investigation is still open. So anyway, as of right now, we do not know what happened to Nolan. Let's go to Ben Crump's page, because if he is hired, I know he is going to do a thorough investigation, baby. Let's see what he is saying in regards to it. Okay, so as of yesterday, he said, we've been retained by the family of Nolan Wells, a beloved son, teammate, and friend who went out to celebrate the 4th of July and never came home. The wide receiver at Southwest Mississippi Community College was preparing to return for the upcoming football season and would have turned 19 next month. His family deserved answers. They deserve the truth. We will not rest until every fact about what happened to Nolan on Horn Island is brought into light. And we call on investigators to pursue this case with the urgency and transparency this family deserves. So I'm going to wait to hear what Ben Crump them has to say, because they get paid to do the investigation, and we're going to follow their investigation. We're going to follow what they're saying, because trust me, they're going to get down to the bottom of it, okay? On July the 4th, Nolan Wells disappeared during a boat trip at Horns Island. He was last seen around 3 p.m. and did not return on the boat. Okay, he did not return on the boat with the rest of the group. After a 2-day search involving local, state, and federal agency, a U.S. park ranger found Nolan's body on the island. The cause of death has not yet been determined, and the investigation remained active. So he didn't even return on the boat. That's his mama and that's his daddy. Damn. Okay. So anyway, we're going to stay on this with Ben Crump and his team, because we know that they're going to get down to the bottom of it. Now, what I'm not going to do, I'm not going to chase every rumor, because I'm sure whatever it is, Ben Crump and his team is going to find it. She said, Amoira, I just sent you something on Messenger from Ashley Cole, the judge. Okay, let's see what Ashley Cole said. Oh, where my phone? Oh, my phone. Hold on. I think my phone is on here. Let me look. Let me look. You said you just sent me something from the judge. Let's see what the judge done said, y'all. Ooh, the judge done wrote a long-ass little message. It says, our family, along with the community, grieves the loss of Nolan Wells. Our thoughts and prayers are with Nolan's family. Our son, Warren, loved Nolan dearly. Unfortunately, I feel that it is appropriate for our family to dispel some rumors with facts based upon the social media attention that is being diverted away from the Wells family and their loss. Yes, I deactivated my Facebook. Given the very heightened emotion state of social media right now, I fear for the safety of my child and my children. My husband and I have 6 children, and we covet their privacy. We do not believe it is appropriate for our minor children photographs to be circulating throughout the internet, presenting potential threats to their safety. I graduated high school with Christine Wells Wansley. We are from the same community. I have the utmost respect for her and all of the Wells family. We mourn the loss of Nolan with them. Our prayers have been and will continue to be with them. My husband and I were not at Horns Island at any point on 4th of July. No one in our family is trying in any way to impede with the investigation by law enforcement or to otherwise hamper the family and law enforcement quest for answers. Warren was interviewed by the Jackson County Sheriff Department and cooperated fully. He saw Nolan last at around 3 p.m. on July the 4th. They left around 4:30 p.m. when the boat was taken on water and they had an issue with the bilge pump or the bilge pump, something like that. Nolan made a decision to stay on the island and return inland later with another group of friends. Yes, I am a judge. I also value transparency. I apologize if anyone was offended that I deleted my social media. There was no nefarious motivation in my deleting my social media. Social media has a lot of positive, but a whole lot of negatives. We live in a world of clickbaiting, sad but true. My family is hopeful that this information will help to redirect the attention to the Wells family, their grief, and their need for our community support. So this is from the judge. She coming out and basically saying, y'all ain't about to take my kid's photo and make a mockery out of my son, okay? Yeah, I deleted it because you will get one photo, one picture. That's it. That's all. You ain't about to have my boy all over social media trying to elude that he had something to do with Nolan's death, not on my watch. So anyway, she said, I understand that about the photo being circulated on social media. I do too, baby, because, honey, they will formulate a story for your ass, okay? They will formulate a story. So we don't know, but I trust that, I absolutely trust that Ben Crump is going to get down to the real nitty gritty. I trust that they're going to peel back the onion and find out everything. Now, I'm assuming that this is, even though we just said that we understand about the picture being circulated, but I am assuming that this photo is Warren, her son, okay? And the reason why I say that is because, well, it says law enforcement, oh no, that says, well, it just says a friend, but I'm assuming that's Warren because they supposed to be like real close. But I don't know which friend is this. It just says Nolan Wells left with friends during the 4th of July celebration before he went missing. So I don't know which one this one is, but I'm assuming it's Warren, all right? Because they seem to be pretty cool with each other, all right? So he was drinking on this one, just, you know, playing around being goofy and whatnot. Looked like he was just playing in his drink. All right. So that's just saying, have you seen him? All right. So nevertheless, y'all, I do think that they are going to get down to the bottom of it and find out what happened. She says literally walk in the parking garage for 25 minutes. Couldn't remember where I parked. Oh, so sorry, J. Lou. So anyway, we don't know what happened to Nolan Wells, the 18-year-old that would have been 19 next month. But what I will say is, you know, I just know that we're going to find out. I know that they're going to, they got to come back and say what the autopsy says. It may say drowning. Most likely it will say drowning. And we got to find out, like, what happened. Okay? What happened? All right? So that's all we have today on Nolan Wells. I told y'all we're going to bring y'all 2 stories with 2 young Black people that were last in the custody of white folks. Nolan Wells, 18 years old, was last seen with his friends, okay, on Horn Island in Mississippi. Now we're going to turn the page to Jor'Dynn Duncan, y'all. Now, this is a sadder story because when y'all hear what happened to Jor'Dynn, you're going to want to throw up. Not that Nolan's life is worth less, because it's absolutely not worth less. But baby, I guess it's because the next story I'm about to tell you about Jor'Dynn, we know how she died, okay? We don't know how Nolan died, but we absolutely know how this young lady died. Let me put a picture up. Now, this is her. Let me see if I got a better picture of her right quick. That is Jor'Dynn Duncan, 7 years old. Did I get a better picture of her? Well, I didn't. It's the same photo, but it's by itself. Let's see if we can put that up. All right. Jor'Dynn Duncan. Woo, Lord. Are y'all ready for this one? Before I put this up, let me just give y'all a warning. This is a sad story, for one. And if you are triggered by people doing evil, demonic, nasty, downright disgusting things to minors, it's nothing sexual. Let me just say that. But if you still don't like to hear things done to minors, much, much younger than 18, she was 7, then you're not going to want to stay in on this one, okay? But y'all, I got to put this story up of this young lady. So, again, this is Jor'Dynn Duncan. She was reported, well, let's get into the whole story. Hold on. Let me close some of these and let me give her my full attention. Give me a second. I got to close some of these because I want to give her my full attention. This story is new as well. All right, so Jor'Dynn, 7 years old, she was allegedly abused. I'm saying allegedly because that's what the news is saying. Allegedly abused, okay? She was found tortured to death, okay? It says she died December on Long Island after prosecutors say she was abused and tortured by the people who were supposed to care for her. Thank you, honey. Thank you so much. Thank you so much. All right. Y'all, my husband gonna make sure I eat, okay? He gonna make sure your girl eats, all right? So she was abused by the very people that were supposed to care for her. Now, the very people that were supposed to care for her, y'all see these 3 women over here in this corner. Y'all, let me tell y'all this story. So, in December 2024, in Suffolk County Child Protective Services placed Jor'Dynn Duncan, 7 years old, with a woman that's not related to her, but she was the fiancé of the little girl's father. The father is incarcerated, okay? He in jail. So CPS thought it was a bright idea to give custody of Jor'Dynn to this woman right here, Emily. Emily Kelly, 50 years old, was given guardianship, legal guardianship over Jor'Dynn after the mother, the bio mother, lost custody. Now, the bio mother lost custody, because she's addicted to drugs, okay? She was a whole addict. We're going to see a video of her in a minute, okay? She addicted to drugs. Her daughter goes to the system, right? But then this lady petitions the system. She asked the system, can you give her to me? Can you give her to me and I will care for her? The system gave Jor'Dynn to this lady right here, Emily Kelly. Emily Kelly, 50 years old, has already lost 2 kids before. Let's get to that, okay? Let's get to the fact that she done already lost 2 kids. Let me pull that up right quick and let's go over the details. I know they were both her children. One was a baby and the other one I want to say was 1 year old. Let me get to it right quick. 1 second. I want to read it straight from hold on. Give me a second. I'm sorry, y'all. Hold on. I got to find out her kids, how old they were when they died. I know one was a baby. And I want to say one was 1. So that's both babies. Give me a second, y'all. Well, I know she lost 2 kids. One was by abuse. And the person that abused one of her kids went to prison. And another one, they said, was like suspicious. That's why I'm trying to get to it. It just says it was under suspicion. So anyway, this lady, Emily, already lost 2 kids before. One was in 1994 and the other one was in 1997. So CPS gave this lady guardianship of Jor'Dynn when she done already had 2 deaths. Her own children, 2 of her own kids died. One was from abuse of a guy that she was dating at the time, and the other one, they just said it was suspicious. They never really released the real reason, because, you know, kids stuff sometimes is private. They don't publicize it. So, but it said it was under suspicion, okay? And cloudy suspicion is what they said. However, 7-year-old Jor'Dynn was put in her care. And after 11 months, I want y'all to say hashtag 11 months. Only 11 months, y'all. Only 11 months after receiving guardianship of this young 7-year-old young girl, she dies. She dies. After 11 months, she dies in the custody of this lady. But it gets deeper and more cringy. And we're going to get into it, okay? I don't know why my notes are not pulling up. So give me a second, because let me just find out. I got the whole rundown, but I can't get it to pull up for me. Give me a second. And I'm going to tell you what she's being charged with in a minute, but it goes deeper. Because as you see on this picture, it says that she missed 40 days of school before her death. And I'm trying to figure out, how the hell do you miss 40 days of school and ain't nobody being called, the police, the CPS, somebody? 40 days of school is a long time. If I'm not mistaken, you only can miss 21 days before they fail you. 21, why would they even allow her to miss 40 days and still come to school, right? So anyway, okay, I got the backstory now. It says, based on current reporting and prosecuting or whatever, Jor'Dynn, 7 years old, well, this lady, let's go back, was indicted, but it wasn't just her. She was indicted and charged with second-degree murder, okay? This, her mama, 75 years old, Barbara Reiner, was also charged, okay? We're going to get to her charges in a minute because I think they charged her ass with manslaughter. I'll get it in a minute. And then the 24-year-old daughter, Elisa Seymour, was also charged, okay? Let's go over what they was charged with, and then we're going to finish telling you the story. Emily, age 50, she was the legal guardian and also the father, the child's father, fiance. She was charged with second-degree murder and it was something else. She was charged with second-degree murder and what else? I know it was something else. Get it. What the hell? Oh, okay. She was charged with second-degree murder, reckless endangerment, unlawful imprisonment. Oh, we gonna get to it. And 3 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Did y'all hear me? Murder, reckless endangerment, unlawful imprisonment. Yeah, you want to know why I said unlawful imprisonment? Because they tied this girl up for days. I'm talking about a 7-year-old, y'all. They tied this girl up for days and made her stay in the bathtub for days. Who does that to a child? Who does that? Well, we're going to get to it. Then the 75-year-old mama, let's put her up. The 75-year-old mama of her, okay? This her mammy. 75 years old, she's charged with second-degree manslaughter and endangering the welfare of a child. And then here go Elisa, 24-year-old. She's charged with unlawful imprisonment and 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child. Now, they went and had a lengthy indictment, and a lot of evidence was brought forward. You want to know something? A part of the evidence that was brought forward? Oh, y'all ain't going to believe this one. I'm going to need y'all to lean in a little bit closer so I could tell you what was part of the evidence that led to this arrest and further investigation. Do you want to know what was part of the evidence? Does anybody want to guess right quick? What was part of the evidence? The evidence. Do you want to know? They recorded it. You heard me. They recorded it. They took photos. They took videos. They recorded it. Oh, y'all ain't heard me. I don't know what's wrong with sick ass people. You could do this, but on top of it, you record it for what? For what? What you recording for? Because you want to laugh while you looking at it later? Is that why? You want to ha-ha? You want to laugh? You want to share it with your friends? Huh? December the 29th of 2025. Kelly, this lady you see right here, called 911 saying the child was in cardiac arrest. First responders came to her house and found Jor'Dynn unconscious. She was taken to the hospital and died from her injuries. The medical examiner found she died from a massive untreated infection connected to sharp force injuries. The officials documented that this 7-year-old little girl had over 90 injuries on her body. Over 90. 90 injuries, sharp force injuries. She was poked. She was stuck. She was pricked 90 times. Sharp force injuries. So they said she had an infection and most likely came to a blunt force to her abdomen, her stomach. This girl was hit in her stomach, which caused an untreated, and then didn't get treated for it, which caused an infection. It said she died from a massive is big, a massive untreated infection. She had over 90 injuries on her body. Prosecutors investigated this home that she was in, and during their investment, they found photos and videos from this bitch's phone. Kelly herself, 50 years old Kelly, the fiance of this little girl's father. Baby, y'all better watch who y'all have around y'all damn children, okay? So this bitch's phone, they went through the phone and found that she documented prolonged abuse. She documented restraints of this child. She documented, okay, the injuries. She took photos of the injuries. And this was found in her damn phone. And it said she did not take the baby to the doctor, lacked medical care, never took the girl to the doctor. But also, the little girl missed 40 days of schooling. But on some of the days that she went to school, she had to wear makeup to cover up the injuries on her body. So again, on some days that this young girl went to school, she had on makeup to cover up the injuries. But this girl, this lady, thought the shit was funny. She documented the abuse. She took photos. She took videos. She laughed about the shit. They restrained this young girl to the damn bathtub, tied her up and put her in the tub for days, okay? 3 women were charged. Emily Kelly, 50 years old. Her bitch ass mama, Barbara Rayner, 75 years old. Then her bitch ass daughter, Elisa Seymour, 24 years old. All charged in connection with this young girl's death. Oh, they had a time with her ass. Yeah, the father is incarcerated, his bomb ass, and then the mama, her bio mama, strung out on drugs with her bomb ass. They don't get no sympathy from me, the mother or those father. Fuck both of them, okay? Because this young girl would have never been in the care of CPS if they had their shit together, okay? So he locked up for whatever the hell, and the mama strung out on drugs and lost custody of her 7-year-old. So she just out there with no one to care for her. And then here come old Becky. I'll take her. I'll take her. And here go the system. Oh, okay. Here you go. Here you go. Thank you. Appreciate you. The system gave this young girl to this monster. She's not even blood related. They didn't let the grandmama of the bio grandmother of this child get her. They didn't let the bio auntie, cousin. They let a fiance get her. That's what they did. They did. Okay? Now all 3 of these monsters are charged with restraining, kidnapping. That's what it is. When you tie somebody up, that's kidnapping. So restraining a child, kidnapping her, okay? Beating her, a lot of beating going on, okay? That's what happened to this girl. A lot of beating. They did all types of beatings on this girl. Over 90 fucking bruises on her body. 90 bruises? Yeah. It's going to be a special place for her. So prosecutors allege investigators found the photos and the videos from Kelly's phone accounts documenting prolonged abuse, restraints, injuries, and lack of medical care dating back to January 2025. They also said that Jor'Dynn missed about 40 days of school between January and June, with allegedly false excuses used to explain her absences. 3 women were charged: Kelly herself, her mother, Barbara, and her daughter, Elisa. Okay? Now, Kelly is the one that's facing the murder charges. Okay, that's her. Her mother is facing manslaughter. Now, it says all 3 are facing child endangerment, repeated or related allegations, and defense attorneys have denied responsibility. So they have all said not guilty, okay, and have all said that they're not responsible for what happened to her, okay? Now, Jor'Dynn's mother, we're going to get to her in a minute, Portia Duncan, is now pursuing legal actions against the Suffolk County and the Bayport Blue Point School District, alleging officials failed to properly monitor her 7-year-old daughter, Jor'Dynn's safety, and missed the warning signs before her death. Now, I just have something to say about that. The mother is asking for $250 million because she said the state failed to protect her daughter. Well, y'all, what I got to say about that is, how dare she ask for $250 when she failed her daughter first? But nevertheless, she is suing and she's asking for a heap of money because she's accusing them of failing to care for her daughter. Okay, let's get to it.
The mother of a 7-year-old girl who police say was tortured and killed by her legal guardian last year has taken legal action.
Jor'Dynn Duncan's mother filed a $250 million claim against the county, social services, and the Bayport Blue Point School District. She says they failed her daughter by failing to step in despite several warning signs.
3 generations of women, all related, pleaded not guilty in the case. Long Island reporter Krista McNally is in Bayport. Krista.
That's right. 7-year-old Jor'Dynn Duncan was allegedly abused and tortured to death by 3 generations of women in this Bayport home while under the care of her legal guardian. Today, her mother filed a notice of claim seeking $250 million in damages.
If I can turn back the time, I would have done things so much different.
You can see the pain on Portia Duncan's face when speaking about her daughter, Jor'Dynn, who died after what prosecutors describe as months of alleged systematic cruelty and sadistic abuse.
A house full of monsters in disguise.
Emily Kelly, Jor'Dynn's legal guardian, her mother, Barbara Renner, and daughter, Alyssa Seymour, have all been charged in connection with this case and have pled not guilty. The notice of claim alleges the county, Bayport Blue Point School District, and others were negligent in monitoring her health and safety, failed to intervene, and did not properly vet Kelly.
What we know, there were 2 deaths under her watch that were very suspicious in nature.
CPS's failures to properly vet Emily Kelly in her home, to do a proper background check, those things led us to this very moment.
Duncan missed 40 days of school from January to June in 2025. And when she did go, it is alleged she wore makeup to cover up the abuse. The 2nd grader was taken out of her mother's custody after an alleged failed drug test.
I might have been an addict, but I was a damn good mother to my kids.
The notice of claim accuses the parties of acting with gross negligence, deliberate indifference, emotional distress, and racial discrimination in the monitoring of the child.
Jor'Dynn was not abused when CPS removed her from a Black caretaker.
Not a day that goes by that I don't cry, that I don't think about my daughter, that I don't fault myself.
Okay.
The notice of the claim is the first step of 4 filing a lawsuit. We did reach out to the county and the school district. Both said they would not comment on pending litigation. That is the latest from Bayport. Krista McNally, Channel 7 Eyewitness News.
Okay. As you see, the mother, Portia Duncan, was strung out on drugs when she lost custody of the 7-year-old, okay? Now she said, oh, that's my best friend, blah, 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 blah. But anyway, now she is suing and asking for $250 million. She said, did you say million or thousand? No, million. $250 million. Yeah, you heard me. She wants $250 million because she said the system failed her daughter by placing her daughter with this woman who already had 2 kids to die on her watch, okay? They tortured this young lady, tortured this little girl, literally. But let's go a little further because I want y'all to hear exactly what the prosecutor is alleging that these people did to her. Hold on one second. The prosecutor says Jor'Dynn was placed in the care of Kelly, right here. She was placed in the care of Kelly, her incarcerated father fiance. Kelly requested it on her own. She requested it to take care of Jor'Dynn starting in December of 2024. She gained full custody and guardianship in April 2025. So from December to April, they gave her full custody, okay? They said she routinely tied up the little girl and tortured her and documented the abuse on her cell phone with photos and videos. The district attorney office said the little girl missed 40 days of school between January and June, and the investigators believed that the absences were due to the abuse. It was so bad that they didn't want to send her to school because it could have, they could have told on her. However, they're saying the school should have known that something was going on, okay? Now they're saying that she was found unconscious and Kelly called 911 and said she was going into cardiac arrest, okay? They said when they were doing the autopsy, they found that the young girl had 90 sharp force injuries on her body. Now, the injuries led to an untreated infection in which that is the determination of her death. Jor'Dynn's godmother spoke out and said, we wish we knew what was going on. Let's listen to that video.
Signs missed. The mother of a little girl, who prosecutors say was tortured before her death, is now accusing Suffolk County and her school district of failing to protect her child. Carolyn Gussoff has this story.
A house full of monsters.
Breaking her silence through tears, Portia Duncan called her daughter her best friend.
She was such a sweet, beautiful, smart, fun, girly girl.
Jor'Dynn was removed from her mother's custody because of substance abuse and mental health concerns, but was then placed in the home of Emily Kelly.
They need to do more protecting of our kids, because there's no other hands that she should have been in than mine. I might have been an addict, but I was a damn good mother.
In Kelly's home, Jor'Dynn allegedly endured torture. The Mastic mother filed this notice of claim accusing Suffolk County of failing to vet Kelly, failing to monitor Jor'Dynn, and her school district of failing to report chronic absences. The lawsuit claims when she did attend, she wore heavy makeup to hide her injuries.
All they had to do was look at Jor'Dynn. She was the one.
Well, yeah.
That wasn't hidden.
Yeah.
That was in plain sight.
The claim also alleges racial bias in the decision to remove Jor'Dynn from her biological family and place her with Kelly, the fiance of her incarcerated father, and missing red flags.
There were 2 deaths under her watch that were very suspicious in nature.
Neither Suffolk County nor the Bayport Blue Point School District would comment due to the litigation, but the county executive has blamed the placement on a judge.
I just want justice served for my daughter.
Duncan is seeking $250 million, but her attorneys say they're also seeking accountability and changes in laws to save the next child. In Bayport, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
Well, wait a minute.
Years from now, when you walk...
No, I was trying to show y'all this, let y'all hear what the godmother said. Well, good Lord. Okay. So I kind of wanted y'all to hear what the godmother said. She said that she would have taken the child. She was the godmother, but she said they would not give the child to her, okay? That's the godmother. Now, the godmother was black, okay? And she said that she would have taken Jor'Dynn, but they would not give the baby to her, but they gave the baby to her. So that's why they now trying to say that it had something to do with race, because, you know, the godmother wasn't family, but they said they give next to kin, okay? And because she was the fiance of the dad, they consider a fiance in the CPS world next of kin. Ain't that some crazy ass shit? Anyway, I feel that CPS was wrong, but I also feel that the little girl's bio mother is wrong. You know, I mean, for being an addict and strung out and shit like that, and then the daddy go to jail, and then all of a sudden she can ask for the child. Nobody protected the child. Just nobody. The school failed her. The damn system failed her. Her mama failed her. Her daddy failed her. Everybody failed this child. Everybody failed this damn child, you know? This lady failed her. This lady failed her. This lady failed her. Everybody failed this child. This is crazy work. So now they're gonna have to go to trial, and they're gonna have to fight murder charges. Her boyfriend, her fiance, is already in jail. They didn't even say what he in jail for. They just said he incarcerated. And she didn't kill the boy's child. You know? She killed him. She killed the little girl. So she said, who is the mixed woman? That's the daughter of her. This is her daughter, and she had something to do with it. They said she's charged with restraining the girl. She tied the girl up. So they charging her ass too. She restrained the little 7-year-old. I don't know what the 7-year-old could have done, and I don't give a damn what they say. What the hell could the 7-year-old have done to be tied up and beaten and then put in the bathtub? She couldn't even get out the fucking bathtub. Can you imagine already having to lay down in the bathtub and now you tied up and you can't even get up? Come on. This is crazy. Everybody know a bathtub is hard as hell. This is crazy as shit. So there's question. The public is now asking, how did the child end up in the home of the father fiance instead of with other family members, or a safer placement option? So they're saying CPS should be responsible for allowing this lady to get custody of the girl. She said, Amoira, please read my comment. She says, I pray the mother get the best healing and recovery program, treatment, and counseling she needs for her recovery. Disease of addiction is a sickness. Yeah, it's a sickness. But I don't know. Maybe I'm being a little too hard on her, but she's asking for $250 million, saying that they failed her daughter. Well, in my eyes, she failed her daughter too, because her daughter was taken out of her custody and put into the system because of her doing. Hey, D-Ham, what's going on? Her doing. She said that's because the 75-year-old used to abuse the 50-year-old, and the 50-year-old was abusing the 24-year-old, and it's a three-year generation, or what do you say, third generation of abuse. You're probably right. You are probably right. Okay? So they saying that this was not just one moment of violence. This is being described as months, 11 months of systematic cruelty and sadistic abuse, okay? It says that Jor'Dynn was left to die with these three people, these three defendants, was left to die, and they watched her deteriorate, okay? It says, hold on, let me drink something right quick. It says Jor'Dynn was routinely tied up and tortured for days at a time. And it was documented by cell phone. It was documented. It says Prosecutors said they found evidence in Kelly's phone and her deleted cloud. I don't know why people think that just because you hit delete that it's gone. She hit delete and they found it in the clouds. There was evidence in the clouds, photos and videos showing the abuse and the torture. The bitch recorded it. Thank you, D-Ham, so much. Appreciate you. Thank you for that super chat. She recorded the abuse and tried to delete it. You know, they think, oh, I'm going to delete it out. It ain't deleted. It's in your clouds, you dummy. So they said this was not a single act. And then the women have the nerve to plead not guilty. Let's look at this one. Let's see what they're saying on this one. This was in Long Island, New York. Or right outside of Long Island, New York. Let's hear what this one says.
Generations of the same family.
Hold on. Oh, now they're going to put the commercial on. Shit. Okay, hold on. Let's wait till the commercial go away. This is crazy work. So anyway, now we got a 7-year-old that's deceased. And we got 3 people charged. You got the mother mad, saying that they failed her daughter. And she wants to get paid from it. She wants money from it. So she didn't went and lawyered up. Oh, here go the godmother right here. Let's see what, that's what I was trying to show y'all, what she was saying, and something else came up there.
Long of a torture, so many days after day after day.
Right now at 5:30, did the system fail her? New information on the death of a little girl who prosecutors say was tortured. Good evening, I'm Christine Johnson.
Welcome back. I'm Jessica Moore. Emotions ran high today in a Suffolk County courtroom as 3 generations of the same family faced a judge, all accused in the shocking death of that 7-year-old girl.
Jor'Dynn Duncan had been placed in their Bayport home by court order. As Carolyn Gussoff reports, the courtroom was packed with heartbroken supporters of the child.
She always had a smile on her face, always happy.
Jor'Dynn Duncan's smile was on dozens of pink shirts as family and supporters packed the courtroom. They came seeking answers. How the 7-year-old was placed by a judge in the home of Emily Kelly, where prosecutors allege a year of torture led to her December death.
How could this child have all these things going on and nobody see it? You know, were they blind?
Prosecutors allege repeated abuse. The child tied up in a bathtub and videotaped. An autopsy documented more than 90 injuries. She missed 40 days of school. In each case, Kelly provided an excuse. Sources say school officials did not report and were not required to report her absences to authorities without suspicions of abuse.
The system failing her, it was so long of a torture. So long of a torture, so many days after day after day.
Jor'Dynn's mother had lost custody amid alleged drug use. Her father incarcerated. Sources say the child was placed with Kelly, the child's father's fiance, with his approval.
No kid should ever suffer the way my granddaughter suffered. CPS needs to answer. The schools need to answer.
Kelly, her mother Barbara Renner, and daughter Elisa Seymour are all charged. Kelly's accused of depraved indifference murder.
That requires cruel and wickedness. We don't think that this conduct of my client even comes close. The fact that she's charged along with her mother and her daughter is shocking to her.
One at a time, each woman stood silent in front of the judge. Cameras were not allowed after their attorneys argued that the public seeing them in jail clothing and handcuffed would harm their defense. The child's families compiled a legal team to investigate what went wrong.
Those who were assigned to protect her didn't.
For now, supporters are focused on the little girl who will never grow up.
We love her so much and we miss her.
And seeking justice. In Riverhead, Long Island, Carolyn Gussoff, CBS News, New York.
And you see the lawyer, I mean, of course they're supposed to defend their client. And he's saying that he doesn't understand why that they were charged. He said because the charges that they're charged is of a wicked, you know, like a cruel, wicked person, and she doesn't know why she was charged with such things. What does these charges carry in sentencing if found guilty? Let me see. This is in New York, so I gotta, every state different. So let's just see what the charges carry if found guilty. And it said the daughter was indicted on first-degree unlawful imprisonment. First degree? Shit, that mean that her ass actually, she the one that tied the girl up, I guarantee you. She's 24 years old. So for Kelly, hold on. Kelly, if found guilty, 15 years to life for the second-degree charge, 25 to life for, well, it says 15 years to life, 25 to life, or potentially another life range sentence depending on the exact murder theory and the judge. So depending on, so it says if she's convicted of second-degree murder, she could spend the rest of her life in prison. She also reportedly has other charges, including unlawful imprisonment, reckless endangerment, and endangering the welfare of a child. But the murder charge is the one that carries the life sentence. So depending on the theory, the exact theory that the prosecutor get to, saying how it actually happened, and the judge, she can get anywhere from 15 to life or 25 to life or potentially another life range sentence. But no matter what, she's still looking at life, okay? Now that's her ass. Now Barbara, 75, it says New York law says manslaughter in the second degree is a Class C felony. New York sentencing law says a Class C felony can carry a maximum of 15 years in prison. So Barbara could be looking at up to 15 years on the second degree manslaughter charge. So it also reportedly charged with, she's also reportedly charged with endangering the welfare of a child, which is generally much lower than the manslaughter charge. So in plain language, she is not facing life. However, she's not facing life like Emily unless they upgrade her charge. But manslaughter can still carry serious prison time. So she's looking to up to 15 years. Now, Elisa, 24 years old, she's charged with first-degree unlawful imprisonment. In New York, the law says unlawful imprisonment in the first degree is a Class C felony when a person restrains someone under the circumstances that exposes them to risk of serious physical injury. Okay, so what did I tell y'all? She's the one that put restraints on the little girl or whatever. They probably saw her on the camera doing it, tying her ass up. Anyway, it says her maximum is up to 4 years in prison. So again, up to 4 years in prison, but she also has been charged with 2 counts of endangering the welfare of a child too, which is a misdemeanor. So all in all, Emily is facing the most serious exposure. This girl right here, Emily is, hold on. She's facing the most serious because second degree can carry up to life. Barbara, her mama, up to 15 years, and this chick up to 4 years, okay? So, but the main one is her. It's her ass, the fiance. And she was given the child. And did y'all hear them say she was given the child because her father, Jor'Dynn's father, agreed? Jor'Dynn's father is locked up, and he agreed to give the child to the fiance. See, the mother's strung out on drugs. So then they go to the father. The father gets locked up, and they say, where you want your child to go? Oh, give her to her. Give my child to her. Yeah, I think that'd be a great ass idea. Give my child to her. So anyway, so now the fiance is locked up just like the daddy is locked up. The mama still looked like she strung out on drugs to me. She was all fidgety and itchy and stuff, and you saw how her mouth was twitching. She kind of looked like somebody, but we don't want to go there, right? But nevertheless, Her mouth was twitching and shit. And so she looked like she's still on drugs. So, but it don't matter nowhere because now she don't have a daughter. She said, Amoira, are they out on bond? Oh, I don't think so. Hold on. Did they receive bond? I don't think so. I don't think they would let these monsters get out, but let's see. So they did have bond set. Whew, Jesus. Anyway, it said, yes, according to the Suffolk County DA reports carried by local outlet, all three women were given bond amounts, but that does not automatically mean that they bonded out. Kelly ass was given a $5 million cash bond, okay? 10 million bond or a 10 million partially secured bond. So I'm sure her ass is not out because they want 500,000 for her fucking ass. So her ass is still in jail. Barbara ass was given 50,000 cash bond or 500,000 bond or 500,000 partially secured bond. Okay. Now 50,000, that means 5,000. Somebody probably got her ass out. So she probably got out. Now, Elisa was given $25,000 bond or 25,000 cash bond or 250,000 bond or 250,000 partially secured bond. And that'll be $2,500. So she probably got out too. So these two probably got out. Somebody probably fished up $7,500 and got the two of them out. But her ass, hell no. She ain't important enough for somebody to pay $500,000 to get her ass out of jail after what the hell she done, okay? I doubt it. I absolutely effing doubt it, okay? Would you get her out for $500K? Would you get her out knowing what she did? I actually wouldn't get neither one of them out. Now, if it was my mama, thank you, Binky Bink, appreciate you. If it was my mama or whatever, I probably would get her ass out because, if not, she probably wouldn't make it. She already 75, okay? Now, her $2,500, you tied up a child, I probably would get her ass out too. But her ass, oh no, she gonna sit. She gonna sit, okay? She gonna sit. She's going to sit. So it says that it has not been confirmed that either one of them have posted bond and walked out. It has not been confirmed, but it says they were not released on their own reconnaissance, which means that somebody got to come up with some money. Okay? Now, I actually don't think that anybody going to get their ass out. Actually, I don't think they're going to get her out either. She said 75 or not. She knew what she was doing. Exactly. Hold on. What all did the document say Barbara Rayner did? Let's see what all she did. Let's see. Oh, Renora. I said the name wrong. Okay, hold on. Let's see what the DA said her ass did. It says, she was charged with second-degree manslaughter, which usually means the prosecutor is claiming the person recklessly caused someone's death. So for Barbara, the allegation appears to be that she did not just know nothing, but that her conduct or failure to act was serious enough that prosecutors believe that she contributed to Jor'Dynn's death. Endangering the welfare of a child means prosecutors believe that she knowingly acted in a way that was likely to harm the child's physical, mental, or moral welfare. The public reports do not give as much detail about Barbara's specific acts as they do Emily. Emily is the one the prosecutor accused of routinely tying up and torturing Jor'Dynn and documented the abuse on her phone. But Barbara is accused as one of the adults in the home where this was allegedly happened. So they're saying that it's not that she didn't know, that she did not know, but her conduct, she failed to act. So her failure of act was serious enough that the prosecutors believe that she contributed to the death. So she knew what the fuck her daughter was doing. So her ass is getting manslaughter charges, possibly 15 years in jail, because she knew what this bitch was doing. All right? So what about Elisa? Hold on. E-L, how you say her name? What about ELYSSA? Okay, hold on. So she can't just say, I didn't know what was going on. She knew what was going on. She saw it and she did nothing. So her ass is getting manslaughter charges. All right, so now for Elisa, let's put her ass up. For Elisa, it says she is charged with first-degree unlawful imprisonment and 2 counts of endangering of the welfare of a child. That tells me that prosecutors are accusing her of being involved in the restraints or the confinement of Jor'Dynn and of contributing to an unsafe situation for that child. So if convicted, her main felony exposure is up to 4 years plus child endangerment counts. So even though Alyssa has a lower level charge of the 3, the prosecutors are still saying that she was part of a home where this child was allegedly restrained, injured, denied medical care, and left to deteriorate. So her ass took part in the tying up of Jor'Dynn. She tied this little girl up. She's 24 years old. Go into more details on the 90 injuries. 90 injuries. Ooh, baby, they gonna get her ass. They gonna get her ass. They gonna get her ass. It says, yes, the 90 injuries details is the most disturbing part of this entire case. It says, but they do not list every single injury one by one. The reports just says, the report just says the type of injury, the amount, and the cause of death that's connected. It says that Jor'Dynn had 90 injuries on her bodies. Several reports describe those injuries as including sharp force injuries, repeated physical abuse, and signs of restraints. Patch reported that Jor'Dynn had about 90 injuries and died from the untreated infection caused by the sharp force injuries. What is a sharp force injury? A sharp force injury are wounds caused by something sharp. That can include a cut, a puncture, a slice, or a stab-like wound, depending on the object and the way the injury happened. So when the prosecutors say the infection came from sharp force injuries, they are saying that Jor'Dynn allegedly had open wounds from something sharp, and those wounds were not properly treated. Over time, untreated wounds can become infected, and the infection spreads. It can become life-threatening. So you mean to tell me this? They fucking what? So wait a minute. So are you telling me that they stabbed this little girl, stabbed, poked, and pricked her like open wounds 90 times? Hold on, y'all. Because now I'm about to be sick to my damn stomach.
That is what the reports are strongly suggesting. But I want to phrase it carefully. Yes, prosecutors are saying Jor'Dynn had about 90 wounds injuries on her body, and the autopsy said she died from a massive untreated infection caused by sharp force injuries. Sharp force injuries generally mean wounds caused by something sharp, like cuts, punctures, stab-like wounds, or slicing injuries. The Suffolk County DA said the abuse was not one event, but months of alleged cruelty and abuse. So when you say stabbed, poked, pricked, open wounds, that is a reasonable plain language way to understand what sharp force injuries can mean. But I would not say they stabbed her 90 times as a confirmed fact, unless a court document specifically says every one of the 90 injuries was a stab wound. The safest way to say it on live is, the DA says Jor'Dynn had approximately 90 injuries on her body, and the medical examiner found she died from a massive untreated infection caused by sharp force injuries. That means she had wounds from something sharp, cuts, punctures, or stab-like wounds. And those wounds were allegedly left untreated until infection took over her little body.
Damn.
Some outlets have used the phrase 90 stab wounds, but other reporting in the DA wording uses approximately 90 injuries and sharp force injuries. That difference matters because 90 injuries may include a mix of sharp force wounds, restraint injuries, bruising, and other trauma, while 90 stab wounds is more specific. So your instinct is right. This was not just bruises. Prosecutors are alleging she had open sharp force wounds that became infected, and nobody got her the medical care that could have saved her.
Damn, man, do y'all hear that shit? Do y'all hear that shit? She said, yeah, they need to stay in there for life. Definitely. Life. 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 She needs to stay in there for life. Can you tell me what happened to Emily Kelly's other 2 children? And this was in her care. She already lost 2 kids. She got 2 kids that already died, y'all. The girl, the one that y'all looking at right now, 2 kids, like baby or toddler, they died in her care. And guess what? They saying now they're investigating it. What the hell? Now they want to reopen those cases and investigate the damn cases, y'all.
I'll verify this from current reporting because details about Emily Kelly's other children may be limited or protected, especially if minors are involved. Yes, this is the part that makes people ask how Emily Kelly was ever approved to care for Jor'Dynn. From current reporting, Emily Kelly reportedly had 2 children who died years before Jor'Dynn. 1. Kayla Ann Kelly, infant daughter. Emily Kelly's attorney, John Loturco, said Kelly had an infant daughter named Kayla Ann Kelly, who was stillborn when Kelly was 18 years old at Mercy Hospital in Rockville Center. He said no criminal charges were filed in connection with that death. So with Kayla, the public information is basically stillborn baby, no criminal case reported. Tosh 2, Tyler Kelly, infant son. The second child was Emily Kelly's infant son, Tyler Kelly. Newsday reported that Tyler was killed in 1997 in a domestic violence-related case. Kelly's boyfriend at the time, Joseph Thomas, served 23 years in state prison for Tyler's murder. Patch also reported the attorney's explanation that Tyler was killed by Kelly's then boyfriend, Joseph Thomas, who allegedly threw the child to the ground. Newsday's reporting also says Kelly was never charged or publicly accused of wrongdoing in Tyler's death. But prosecutors at the time had reportedly said they would look into whether Tyler had suffered prior abuse. Why this matters in Jor'Dynn's case? The question is not just what happened to Emily's children. The bigger question is, did Suffolk County CPS know this history before placing Jor'Dynn in Emily Kelly's home? Newsday reported that Kelly was the mother of 2 kids who died in the past 30 years, and Suffolk legislators later wanted answers after Jor'Dynn's death. So for your live stream, you can say, Emily Kelly reportedly had 2 children die before Jor'Dynn. Her daughter Kayla Ann was reportedly stillborn with no criminal charges. Her infant son Tyler Kelly was killed in 1997, and Kelly's boyfriend at the time served 23 years in prison for that murder. Emily Kelly was not charged in Tyler's death. But this history raises a serious question. Did CPS know all of this before they placed Jor'Dynn in that home?
Okay, can you take a look at the first baby again, Kayla Ann Kelly, the infant daughter? You said it was a stillborn. Can you look at that one again? Because the prior reports that I read said that that was a suspicious death. They never said anything about a stillborn. They said a cloudy, suspicious death. Explain that in 1994.
You are right to question that. What I found now shows 2 different versions being put out publicly. And the stillborn version is coming from Emily Kelly's defense attorney, not from a neutral medical court finding that I can independently verify. Here's the cleaner breakdown. What the newer defense statement says, Emily Kelly's attorney, John Loturco, told Patch that Kayla Ann Kelly was stillborn at Mercy Hospital in Rockville Center when Emily Kelly was 18. He also said no criminal charges were filed in connection with Kayla's death. So that is where the stillborn claim came from, the defense attorney's statement. What earlier reporting said, Newsday's earlier reporting, from what is visible through search results snippets, says Kayla Ann was another baby born to Emily Kelly, who died in 1994 when Kelly would have been about 18. Newsday's label snippet does not confirm the stillborn explanation. It says sources told them Kayla Ann died in 1994. Another visible Newsday snippet says Tyler Kelly is buried at St. Charles Cemetery with Kayla Ann Kelly. And a source close to the family said Kayla was also Kelly's child, but the source did not know the circumstances of her death. That means the public record I can see supports this careful version. Kayla Ann Kelly died in 1994. Emily Kelly's attorney now says she was stillborn and that no criminal charges were filed. But earlier reporting did not clearly establish the circumstances of Kayla Ann's death, and some reports people described it as unclear or suspicious. Why people are calling it suspicious? People are likely calling it suspicious because of the pattern being discussed publicly. 1994, Kayla Ann Kelly dies as an infant baby. 1997, Tyler Kelly, Emily Kelly's infant son, is killed. Kelly's then boyfriend was convicted and served prison time. 2025, Jor'Dynn Duncan dies while in Emily Kelly's care. So even if Kayla Ann was truly stillborn, people are asking, did CPS verify that? Did they check records? Did they know about both prior child deaths before approving Emily Kelly as guardian? Patch also reported that Jor'Dynn's civil legal team alleged proper vetting would have uncovered what they characterized as 2 deaths under her watch, referring to tragedies involving Kelly's biological children. Those claims are from the family's attorneys and have not been proven in court. The safest way to say it on Lives Read, you can say, let me correct and clarify something. Kayla Ann Kelly died in 1994. Emily Kelly's defense attorney is now saying Kayla was stillborn and that no criminal charges were filed. But earlier reporting only confirmed that Kayla Ann died in 1994 and did not clearly explain the circumstances. So I'm not going to state as fact that it was suspicious or that it was criminal, but I am going to say the circumstances need to be verified, especially because this was one of 2 prior child deaths connected to Emily Kelly before Jor'Dynn was ever placed in her care. So yes, you caught an important distinction. Stillborn is the defense's explanation. Unclear suspicious is how others are questioning it, because the circumstances have not been fully laid out in the public reporting I could access.
So what do y'all think? Should she have gotten custody of Jor'Dynn? She had 2 kids that died on her watch. Should she have gotten custody of Jor'Dynn? Hey, Ashley. Hey, y'all. Thank you, now. Does she have mucin or just a serial killer? What is mucin? What is that? No, I think she's a wicked, evil ass bitch is what she is. So y'all said no, she should not have gotten custody. Exactly. First of all, she shouldn't even got custody because she's not related to the damn child. How CPS gonna give a fiance custody, y'all? Make that make any sense? Man, I'd be mad as hell if I was the mama, but the mama was on drugs. So her ass couldn't, you know what I'm saying? She can't say nothing. What she gonna say? What the mama gonna say? But now the mama want money. Exactly. She was not related. I feel bad for these people that get placed in these CPS homes. Or CPS placed them in these homes. Some of these people just do shit for money. Well, please, let me see. Was she getting paid to have guardianship?
I'll check whether any reports say Emily Kelly received foster care, kinship, guardianship, or other public payments for caring for Jor'Dynn. I have not found a confirmed report saying Emily Kelly was being paid to have guardianship over Jor'Dynn. What is confirmed publicly is that Suffolk County CPS placed Jor'Dynn with Emily Kelly in December 2024, and Kelly later received full custody/guardianship in April 2025. Prosecutors said Kelly had requested to care for Jor'Dynn. Now, could money have been involved? Possibly, but I would not state that as fact yet. The reason people are asking that is because some placements can come with financial support depending on how the placement is classified. Type of placement, could there be money? Foster care placement. Usually yes, foster parents may receive a board payment stipend. Kinship foster care. Often, yes, if the caregiver is formally approved through foster care. Legal guardianship custody only, not always. It depends on whether there was a subsidy, foster care status, or public assistance tied to the child. One report described Jor'Dynn as being placed in Kelly's home under kinship care rules, even though Kelly was not a blood relative. That makes the payment question fair, but that same report did not confirm she received money. For your live stream, I would say, one question we still need answered is whether Emily Kelly received any foster care, kinship care, guardianship, or public assistance payments while Jor'Dynn was in her home. I have not seen a public report confirming she was paid, but because CPS placed Jor'Dynn with her and she later became guardian, it is a fair question for Suffolk County to answer. So the clean answer is not confirmed publicly, but definitely a question worth asking.
Do y'all think she got paid? Do y'all think Emily got paid to care for Jor'Dynn? It said that kinship foster care. So kinship foster care they get money if the caregiver is formally approved through foster care. So she got listed as kinship. So if she got listed as kinship and it says that you can get paid for kinship, her ass got paid. Her ass made money caring for that damn child. She is a damn psycho. Because who ties up and beat a child? Who does that? So nevertheless, y'all, rest in peace, Jor'Dynn. Rest in peace, Jor'Dynn. Her ass is going to get towed up from the floor up in jail, honey. The moment they allow her, let me see if all three of them together. Did they lock all three of them up together? The mother, the Emily, her mom, and her daughter, are they all locked up together? Let's see if they took all three of these wiccos to the same place. Let's see. It says all three of them were arrested and charged, but I have not seen or confirmed a report saying that they are physically housed together in the same jail unit. It says, but what we do know that they all have been charged in the connection with Jor'Dynn's death. Report describes the Bayport home as being shared by Kelly, her mother Barbara, and her daughter Elisa. So it says that, we would have to look up Suffolk County jail court records to confirm where each of them are housed. So could they possibly be housed in the same jail, but the different, like not cell, but different, like building or whatever? She said normally they split them up. Oh, okay. They keep them apart. Oh, okay. She said, that's my daughter name, just spelled different. That's my granddaughter name, Jor'Dynn. I got a granddaughter named Jor'Dynn. She's 11. Anyway, this is sick. This is sad. I mean, I don't know what else to say. They failed this. Everybody failed this young girl. Everybody. From the school, from the mother, from the father, from the schools, from these bitches, you know, bitch 1, bitch 2, and bitch 3. They all failed her. The mom and dad first, though. The mother and father failed this girl. Let me show y'all Jor'Dynn's mama. They spell her name different, though. Her name is Portia Duncan. Let's pull her back up for a second. Portia Duncan. She says, I know I'm wrong. I know I'm wrong. But I love my daughter. I was a damn good mother. I loved my daughter. But, I want y'all to just look at her right quick. And the only reason I'm doing this is because I think she's still on drugs. Look how she's twitching. Y'all tell me. Look at her. Oh, she crying. My bad.
Related, the trio was accused of torturing Jor'Dynn Duncan until
A house full of monsters.
a 7-year-old wearing makeup to school to cover up the bruises. Her mother.
Why didn't authorities say not authorities, but the schools say anything about her wearing makeup? They wouldn't have asked, why in the world does she have on makeup? I would think that they would ask, why is she wearing makeup? Why is she wearing makeup? Oh, why they always try to get somebody to pay? Good Lord. I'm not paying 25 cents for y'all shit. But anywho, y'all, however it works out, I just hope Jor'Dynn gets justice. I hope well, it looks like this is the mother before she was on drugs. This is either the mother or mama's 7-year-old who died in Long Island torture house. So this looks like the mother when she's not doing the drugs. Hold on. Her. Yeah, Portia Duncan with her daughter, 7-year-old daughter. Sophie. Look at Jor'Dynn. How in the world is okay? Anyway, she said makeup school failed her too. Yeah, exactly. The school failed her too because they didn't say anything. She said, "Damn, she looked just like somebody else." She said, "More look up the picture of the father." I already know who you saying because I swear I thought the same thing. Who is the father of the daughter of the child? Is Jor'Dynn, Jordynn, Jordynn. Oh, here you go. Derek Dixon. Let me get him. Who the hell? Derek Dixon. Let's see who the hell Derek Dixon is. Where you at, Derek? Oh, they said they do back in court. Oh, wait a minute. That's past June the 23rd. Oh, this happened in 2025. Oh, hold on. So have they been to trial yet? This happened in 2025, y'all. They ain't had that damn case yet? No. Oh, they were just indicted. What the fuck? It happened in 2025, but they were just indicted May 2026 and charged. She died in April of... Wait a minute, hold on. When did she die? Oh, wait a minute. When did she die? When did she die? They were indicted in May of 2026. Oh, she died December of 2025. So December, January, February, March, April, May. So 5 months. So for 5 months, they did an indictment. They said a lengthy indictment. And they charged them. They probably had to do an investigation. They charged them 5 months later. So they charged them in May. She died in December. And they charged them in May. But let's look up the father. And let's see what the father got charged with. Why is he in jail? Why you couldn't care for your child? It says, I looked up the father, but I do not see a clearly verified public photo of him. What I found are articles confirming that he's been identified as Jordan's father and that Emily was reportedly his fiance. I bet you social media know. It says, I would not use social media. Yeah, we're gonna look at social media anyway. Jordan's father. Let's look up the father. Jor'Dynn Duncan father. All right, they're not showing his photo, not even on social media. Damn. Yeah, they're not showing they're not showing the father. I don't see the father. I think he's locked up in New York. Long Island, New York, or right around there. So anyway, I don't see the father, but again, everybody failed her. It says text message revealed that Jor'Dynn Duncan allegedly tortured before she died, prosecutor says. Look at this. It says text messages details 7-year-old Jor'Dynn Duncan's alleged torture before she died. So yeah. And so if it's text message, that means that she's sending the abuse to someone. What? She was sending the abuse to someone. Text messages. She was sending it. Let me make sure I'm saying this correctly. It looked like she was sending text messages of the abuse to someone. Who the hell is she sending the text messages to?
The actual text messages have not been fully released publicly from what I can find. What has been reported is what prosecutors say the phone evidence showed. Here's the detailed breakdown. Prosecutors say investigators recovered evidence from Emily Kelly's cell phone and cloud accounts. That evidence allegedly included photos, videos, and text messages documenting Jordan's abuse, restraint, injuries, and lack of medical care. The Suffolk County DA said the abuse was meticulously documented and was not one isolated incident, but months of alleged cruelty. What the phone evidence allegedly showed, the public reports say the phone/cloud evidence showed. Evidence type, what prosecutors say it showed. Photos, videos. Jor'Dynn visibly injured, restrained, and deteriorating. Phone cloud records. Abuse allegedly dating back to January 2025. Messages, discussions connected to the alleged abuse and hiding it. School excuse pattern. Kelly allegedly gave fake explanations for Jor'Dynn missing school. ABC7 reported that prosecutors said Jor'Dynn endured prolonged neglect and abuse, much of which was recorded on a cell phone, before dying from infection related to her injuries. The alleged texts between Emily Kelly and Alyssa Seymour. The most specific reporting I found says prosecutors told the judge that text messages between Emily Kelly and her daughter, Alyssa Seymour, showed the two discuss the abuse and ways to hide it from school officials.
Oh, wow.
That matters because Alyssa is charged with first-degree unlawful imprisonment, and reports say that charge is tied to times when Jor'Dynn was allegedly restrained, including being tied up in a bathtub. The DA's public release also says the evidence showed prolonged restraint, physical injuries, and lack of medical care dating back to January 2025. So, in plain language, prosecutors are saying the phone did not just show random pictures. They say the phone evidence helped show knowledge, participation, concealment, and ongoing abuse. The hiding it from school piece. This connects to the school absences. Jor'Dynn reportedly missed about 40 days of school between January and June 2025, and prosecutors say Kelly gave false excuses to explain why Jor'Dynn was not there. Reported excuses included illness, deaths in the family, and a Disney World trip. ABC7 also reported the civil claim alleges that when Jor'Dynn did attend school, she was allegedly wearing makeup to cover abuse. So the alleged text messages are important. because prosecutors are reportedly saying Emily and Alyssa were not just unaware adults in the house. They allegedly talked about what was happening and how to keep the school from finding out. What has not been publicly released. I have not found a public court document giving the exact wording of the text, like, Emily said this, Alyssa replied that. So I would be careful not to quote fake messages or repeat screenshots from social media unless they come directly from the bail application, court filing, or a reliable reporter who saw the document. Safe live stream wording. You can say, according to prosecutors, investigators found photos, videos, and text messages on Emily Kelly's phone and cloud accounts. They say the evidence documented prolonged restraint, injuries, lack of medical care, and abuse dating back to January 2025. Prosecutors also reportedly said text messages between Emily Kelly and her daughter Alyssa Seymour showed them discussing the abuse and ways to hide it from school officials. The exact wording of those messages has not been fully released publicly, so I'm not going to quote anything I can't verify. That is the cleanest and safest way to explain it.
Can you imagine the mother and her 24-year-old daughter discussing how to hide the marks? She's discussing it with her. They texting each other back and forth on how to hide it from the school, and they say they're not guilty. Well, then how are they not guilty? If there are text messages, what they gonna say, it ain't theirs? They discussing back and forth on how to hide it from the school folks. Anyway, she said, I had a probationer that was awarded probation and all three of her children died suspiciously. I couldn't stand her because I knew she was a murderer. Damn. Whoever she texts need to be locked up too. No, they text each other, Super Leo lady. They text each other saying, what should we do? How we gonna hide this? Or you could tell them this, or you could say this, or you could say that. So that hasn't come out yet, though. They have not, revealed the text messages. I'm sure they will. Anyway, y'all, these jokers are probably still locked up. They probably safer locked up. I just think that, unaliving this young lady in the manner in which they did, I just feel like they're going to get theirs. I ain't wishing, hoping, or anything, right? However, they don't like stuff like this in jail, from what I always heard. I heard that if you hurt minors and she's 7 years old, that once they find out, oh, baby, it's on and popping. So anyway, but these three sickos are charged in the death of this one young lady. Torture, abuse, poking, pricking, stabbing, cuts, makeup, trying to cover it up, restraints in a bathtub, pictures, photos taken. And on top of that, they said the little girl also had a mental issue. So she had some mental, things going on with her as well. Let me show this last thing, just her interactions and things of that nature. She was going to some type of, I guess that's a jungle gym or something. This was back in June of 2020. No, actually, I don't know when this is. That's one photo. Here's another one. She had a GoFundMe campaign up. It says that she created and tried to raise $2,500 for the funeral expenses. See, we just found out about this, and maybe because they just, found they was just locked up in May. It's June, it's July, so they was locked up 2 months ago, but the girl died in December. So here's that mugshot. Mugshot 1, 2, and 3. Photos of abuse of the defendant's phone. Here's another photo of her. She suffered dozens of injuries, 90 injuries. Damn, man. 3 generations of Bayport women indicted in the murder of a 7-year-old. Yeah, this is a sad one, y'all. So anyway, we'll keep up on this one. I'm sure when it's get ready to go to court and whatnot, we will find out, and I will have to let y'all know of what's going on later. Same with Nolan. We'll keep up on them, both of them, and find out if anything comes out. If they charge anybody in Nolan's death, I'll let you guys know. And when these three monsters go to court, I will also let you know, because they will be going to trial unless they plead, which, I don't think they will even offer that to them if they found the evidence they're saying they found, right? Unless they just plead guilty and miss the court altogether, right? But other than that, I will bring you back the updates as I get them on these two cases. This is sad. It's sick. Both of them are sick. No one knows what happened to Nolan. The autopsy report hasn't come back yet, but he probably most likely drowned. And Jor'Dynn died with massive infections from a whole bunch of pokey pokes on her body. Untreated, too. Untreated. Can you imagine that? Stabbing somebody, opening the wound, and then she just got to heal on her own. What they going to try to do? Turn around and say, oh, she was a cutter? She cut herself? Come on. Anyway, this is definitely sick. It is. Stories like this normally don't get the support because, we ain't dragging nobody. We ain't cussing nobody out. We ain't calling nobody no names. So it normally does not get the support. So I do appreciate you guys for supporting lives like this, because Jor'Dynn and Nolan matters, okay? And bringing these stories, even though they're very heartfelt, they have to be told. We got to discuss these stories. At first, I was trying to stay away from discussing kids because it's very emotional, deeply emotional for people, because some people have lost kids, or something tragic has happened to one of their kids or grandkids or something like that. So I normally try to stay away from kid stories. But then I said, you know what? These stories need just as much attention as any other story. So I have to bring these stories to you guys, and I just, want to continue to get the support even when I bring stories like this, okay? So I appreciate you guys, and let's hear this Go Met song. Thank y'all so very much.
Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chest, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now. Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chats, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now. Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chats, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now. Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chats, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now. Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chats, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now. Go Met, yeah, it's up now. Big super chats, hit up, cash sound, screen say go. That's facts now. Run it up right now.
Thank y'all once again. I do appreciate you guys. Again, I said, oh, Kim, thank you. Thank you, Kim T. It looked like she threw the last three. Thank you, Kim. Appreciate you, love. Thank you. And Joanne did too. Joanne said, hold on. Here's one more so I can get back on branch 8 across the street. Oh my God, Joanne, you so funny. And then J. Lou said, are we going to file the trial? Are we going to file the trial, or you mean finish the trial? Are you saying, are we going to follow, finish, or file? Which one are you talking about, J. Lou? Are we going to file the trial, finish the trial? You talking about with which one you talking about first? Because I think you're looking at two right now. You're looking at the one with Charlie Kirk shooter. That's the one you're talking about? Charlie Kirk. I think that's the one you're talking about. She said, good live. Thank you so much, J. Lou. I think you're talking Charlie Kirk. She said this one. Oh, are we going to follow the trial on this? Oh, yes, indeed. You talking about baby girl? Oh, yes, indeed. We following the trial. Hell yeah. I don't even see how they can even plead guilty. I mean, not guilty. Oh, yeah, we're going to follow this trial. We're going to, if it's public, because you know what? By it being a little girl, oh, you know what? They still will publicize this. Because didn't they do it for the other little girl? Yeah. I think they do let this be public. At first, I was getting ready to say they may not do it public because she's a little girl. But if I'm not mistaken, that other guy that unalived that little girl and it went viral, I think they did that public. So yeah, if it's public, yes, we're following it. We're definitely going to follow this trial. Definitely. And it's going to be in New York. Oh, I guarantee you this is going to be a big trial too. If it goes to trial. Yes. All right. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. And I'm going to talk to y'all soon. Okay. Bye, y'all.
Because they can't make $1 without mentioning now one of our names.
Jay! She kept talking about that family.
Hoes over there.
She kept talking about that family. 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 That family. She kept talking about that family. Talking about that family.
These motherfuckers don't be want to regret something. Because they can't make $1 without mentioning now one of our